In the fourth row, exposure mask viewer. Alright, back and doing alright, so I'm gonna read a value in from X at the top here. Oh, do not. Yeah, read a value in from X here. Read a value Y, read a width and a height, and then draw a rectangle. Oh, that's cool. So the first one, 10 across, 4 down. 1, 2, 4. So it's 0 index, obvious. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's one of these two, and 0, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so 0 indexed. It's a double loop. So I should have a task that reads in two values, and then I can have another node manage the if query, and then the other one just has to loop and read from the top. And then when it's done, it reads a new value, and that's its new. I'll also have another node be its loop thing. I'm gonna give that a try. Yeah, and to print, I have to send each column individually. So I'll let my other thing handle that. So basically I just have to prep something up, store those values, and then iterate from that value to another value. Try to think if it's worth splitting, like the X and Y down, and then move the width and height to the right. Might be worth it. So I'm always outputting white. So I'm gonna have this top one count from 0 to width, and just send those down. And then I'll terminate it with the 0, I guess. No, because 0. Yeah, I can do that. So when I hit 0, I know I need to go to the next column. And then when I'm out of column columns, I'll read 0 twice, I guess. So like always, I have a value in ACC. I'm going to subtract 1 until it equals 0. When it equals 0, I'll jump out. What if I send a -1 when I'm done? I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, because I'll send the -1, which I can then just pipe down to the bottom, but I can also jump, so I know that I'm at the end of a column, or end of a row. In which case I can just jump down. Maybe I should split up the column writer from the thing that handles how many columns. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. So height's going down, the right will handle this. So I'm going to save it. At some point I need to jump back to the start. Maybe I'll just read something that says like, this is the last one. Or I have this thing be triggered from the thing to the bottom. Yeah, that's it. That's the way to go, because I have to reset it, because I have to do it a bunch of times. So I'm just going to make a label, start. I'm going to save the value. And then, so I'm going to read a value before I start looping. Actually, that should tell me if I need to go back to S. So when I get set to 0 from the bottom, I will jump to S. Otherwise, I go into the loop. So I need to refill the value with my loop counter. Store it again, and then do the loop where I send that much down. And when I'm done, I move -1 down, and then I jump. And so that preps me ready to write another column, right? So I read in the value of width. Move this comment up. Get rid of that comment. Move it to ACC, I save that ACC into back, so that's by count. I wait for something to tell me I need to write this column. If that thing is equal to 0, I restart at the top, where I read a new value in. Otherwise, I swap back to my counter value, save it back to back, and then check if it's equal to 0. Move a 3 down, sub 1, and all that. Right here is a line printer. H-line printer. So that's good. Now I need to handle the X, Y, and height. Thing is, I have no stack here, so I can make a 2-layer stack, sort of, out of multiple nodes, but maybe I can avoid doing that. So I need to have something that handles counting down the height. Yeah, so there I made a quick write retrieve. So I'm going to move up the ACC. This is my X coordinate. I need to add this, or write this out for every loop of the iteration. Let's have that. I need to write out this Y coordinate, but the Y coordinate really is just the value. That's going to be Y storage. This is going to be my X storage. And then, so every time I read from the value, I have to write the value back. There's probably a better way to do that type of thing in this language, but yeah, well, let's see what we can do here. So I move up ACC, I'm going to move ACC left, so that's going to store my X. Actually, I don't really, I just need to write out the X value of every single time I want to write a line. And it's always the first thing that I need to do, but I need to check to see my height and all that. Oh, game crashed. So that's going to set my Y down. Is there anything else I can do? I feel like I'm trapping myself here with how this one node has to do so much. Like, I can make this node do something, because it's going to be the one that says, like, right, this is the node that's going to read in an X and Y value, and then trigger up to print the line of that width. And then when it's done, it'll send a 0 up. And it has to then pipe everything that it gets from the up. until it's less than 0. Let's sketch some notes. So move 1 up. Move up. ACC. Jump. That's 0. End. When I'm done, then I need to jump back to reading a value, an x and y. So start. And the 0 tells the one above it. That you're done. I feel like I'm just missing something here. My line printer's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I just don't know what to do with those. Just gonna keep the x value in AC in back. Maybe I can use the bottom one to just always give me the next one, and then I check if that one's negative or whatever. Seems reasonable. Like you give it a value, and then it just spits out values until it spits out -1. Like it can use the node to its side to calculate the counter and all that. So I'm going to do that. So calc y. But first I need to check what my y value is before I send it, right? Yeah. Because if it's 0, then you want to signify that you're done. And then go back to reading a new line. So if you're done, then you're good to go. And read the new values. Otherwise, you swap. I'll call it n, or I check the y value. So it's less than 0, I go back to the start. Otherwise, we swap. Move that right. And swap again. Move. That sends the y value that I just read from below. And then I go and read a new value from below, which means I go back to n. So here this node handles sending the xy coordinates of the start of the line, and then it'll keep iterating until it receives a -1 on the row. So that means that this one, I'm going to make this the storage on the right over here. And then I'm going to keep ACC as the current counter. I'll be right back. I gotta go think of this. So from the stream, just say that move any to any is a storage node. I'm surprised that works. I guess the first any actually receives the read, and then it goes into write mode. Wow, that's interesting. Let's give that a try. Alright, so my plan here is to move I move my y initial left, and then I move up into ACC. So this is my height value. So I need to count this down to 0, and then add it to the other thing if it is not less than 0. Alright, so in this case, so I have my initial y value on the left. I've taken my counter height into ACC. It's not equals 0, so I need to add my counter value to my value to my left. Without destroying my value to my left. So I need to what's the best way to do that? Sorry, I think I'm a little slow right now. I'm gonna have to actually take a break.